Hello everyone, my name is Nathan and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included in our Ultimate Base 2.0. In the previous episode we moved our battery setup amongst other things, and today I want to do a tiny amount of testing with the Interplanetary launcher. So I want to have this guy right there, and I guess we will have to do the same thing here on Growista in order to actually land the rocket. And I guess for now we're just gonna come out with a rail and a conveyor chute like so. On the other side though, we're gonna need a little bit of a longer rail, and I'm probably gonna set up an auto sweeper here of some sorts. Yeah, actually not too sure yet. Let's set up a conveyor loader here and a conveyor bridge. And then maybe eventually I'm gonna have an auto sweeper to help me with this. But just for the testing it is gonna suffice. I'm also taking apart the solar panel so we can actually finish the cabling here. And just like that we have the solar panel in place again. Just a little ways to go to hook up the Interplanetary launcher. Okay, now we somehow need to fill these guys up with Radbolts. We can set the destination, so this would be going to Growista. Wait, are you telling me I can ship only 200 kilograms using this method? And it also means I'm gonna need the Radbolts collection here as well. So I'll have to do some testing with cooling the Radbolt generators, but it looks as though the Radbolt reflectors are not gonna heat up. We'll have to test that. For now, I'm just gonna hook it up like so. We're gonna get some power to this, and I'm also gonna set up some automation here for myself. And I'm actually gonna do the same thing over here. Make sure this is hooked up. Get some automation in the joint to have control over it. Make sure this thing is actually pointing into the correct direction. And yeah, right now it is heating up, but depending on how the launcher works, I will know what we're dealing with and how to properly cool it down. Actually, it looks as though we don't nearly collect enough Radbolts here. I'm gonna move the setup to over here. And actually, since we're already at it, I wanna test the deflector. I wanna see if that also fills up. So I'm gonna move things over here, including my automation. Wonderful, both Radbolt generators are now hooked up again and producing. Let's make sure this guy is pointing into the right direction and it's going to be reflected at the bottom. Also looks like I can force it to produce more Radbolts at a time, so it only shoots the load when it has accumulated a bunch. I also want to make sure Otto keeps going here on his planetoid, so more building and digging commands it is. There's actually another volcano or geyser here on the top that we've ignored thus far, so maybe we want to tap into that one too. So now essentially we're just waiting for the first bolt to be generated. I believe we will already be able to launch a mission with just the one shot. It becomes more complicated once the planetoids are further away. But it's gonna be a good experiment between Growista and the main planetoid. Okay, so the good news is the Radbolt reflectors do not actually heat up at all, and also we started to fill this up with Radbolts. However, on Growista for some reason it didn't work. Yeah, this is curious. Maybe the Radbolts have to come from the other side. I'm gonna make sure to actually be here when it happens the next time, so we can observe what went wrong. But essentially now we want a Radbolt collection farm somewhere nearby, and we're bringing the Radbolts automatically to the Interplanetary launcher. Also, of course, I noticed this is only a input, so I swapped the chute with a conveyor loader. And I'm assuming once the materials come, they just drop on the floor. Ah, okay, I get it. I now know what happened. It actually shut off the power during the night, and therefore we lost all the Radbolts that were accumulating here. Okay, this is a slight issue we have to fix, I wonder. I look at this, my metal pillar is actually being built, and therefore we are cooling things down much more significantly, and at the same time we are getting more water from the ice biome. Yeah, that's looking much more family friendly now. Looks like the Radbolt generator is sucking 480 watts. It's gonna be difficult to upkeep during the night. I think we might achieve that by just setting up a bunch more batteries. Now, I do not want to go crazy just in one place. Oh, actually that's a different circuit. That is not even gonna help us. We need the batteries here in the outside circuit, and there is no way for me to cool them down at the moment. What if we just go ahead and build a couple of batteries here? I think that wouldn't even hurt. I'm even gonna sacrifice my automation here. This way we can have at least 3 more batteries. Not sure if we can get by this way. I guess one more thing we can try out is utilize the salt water here. That means I would start with my battery somewhere along these lines and then just connect them up. And the salt water would dribble over and I could cool them down this way. I mean, it's not gonna be a permanent setup either way. And I guess what we could do for now is try and fill this up. I'm gonna allow manual use. And we're going to fill this up with a little bit of steel. I'm not sure how much I have, 590 kilograms. Come on, I just want to see this happen. Steel is in there and it's going into the machine. Okay. Ooh, oh. Did you see that? That is amazing. Can I actually see that on the star map now? Yeah, look at that. There's my interplanetary payload. Okay, so 2 of them just launched. And we can actually see the launch cost here at the bottom. So really our biggest problem on Growista is going to be to get enough power to run the Radbolt generators. And look at this, not having power has immense consequences actually. Yeah, these guys are running out of power. So that's another thing we need to fix. Okay, let me get rid of that Radbolt generator. And we're first gonna take care of our power production. Maybe add a bunch more solar panels, definitely add more coal generators. Yeah, I mean, we can replace the desalinator with a coal generator already. But yeah, at the moment I need all the power production I have for this contraption, and I already regret not doing that earlier because of course everything got hot because the thermo aqua tuner weren't able to run all the time. So we're gonna fix that. However, what we can do is collect some more Radbolts along here, and then we're gonna send over some glass that I still have to manufacture. I'm gonna do about 32 crafts. That should be enough for 4 solar panels. And also it has become more difficult to actually get natural tiles going with the door trick. So that's something I'm gonna have to observe, but that would be deeply disturbing. And will you look at that? That's how they look when they actually arrive, and we first have to empty them to have access to them. But there is some more steel for us, and there are some more here at the bottom with steel and some glass. We also have the launcher ready with some more glass material, which is perfect. The next time we collect the Radbolts, we can send over some more. In this case, I believe I want to move things around a little bit. We're actually going to go ahead and remove this completely and start to set up a more powerful system. Also here at the bottom, I think I want to move my jumbo batteries and replace them with another steam turbine. All we have to do is remove the drywall here, and we're gonna move the entirety of the system over a little bit. At the moment, I think we are cooling down again. Yeah, currently we don't have the power issues, fortunately. And then one more thing I need to do is rearrange the piping slightly. In the cooling, obviously, we also want to include the other steam turbine. That means I'm gonna move the bridge down 1 block, and then we're first gonna move over and up. We then have some radiant piping here and continue. And we're gonna do the exact same thing here on the other side. I also want to go ahead and actually make a vacuum out of this. And this will be the new location for our battery room on Growista. Eventually I would like to remove the liquid lock so the entirety of the upper floor can be the battery room. I'm actually gonna remove the interplanetary launcher here. We will be using the radiation of the crushed satellite somehow. But yeah, I first wanted to put it to the test. Alright, let's seize the moment. I would like to complete this in today's cycle. So I'm gonna remove the heavy watch arm plate to move them 1 over. Let's see. In order to get safely in there, I'm gonna need to keep this open. So that means no power for the time being. However, we are extremely cool at the moment, so I should not worry. Wonderful, we have access to the room. Let's remove the batteries as well as the steam turbine. Gotta admit, we started this a little bit late in the cycle. Gonna need a couple more pipes, but the rest we can leave in place. There we go, 2 more steam turbines. Unfortunately, deconstructing the turbine left a bit of water that I'm gonna have to sweep up the next cycle. Okay, well, I'm gonna be right back once I've made some more progress here. Alrighty, it is a couple of cycles later, and as you can see, I set up a bunch of solar panels, and in the center, just above the crushed satellite, I got my interplanetary launcher. We will be setting up a whole bunch of Radbolt generators here, and above each generator we're gonna have a deflector, and then we're gonna lead it towards the top inside of the interplanetary launcher. One downside to the payloads is that they take a long time to actually empty out, so it requires duplicate work. And also you have to click each one to empty them out. One thing we can do to make it a little bit easier and less random is set up a targeting beacon. I'm gonna do that right there. Gonna hook that up to power as well, and then all of the payloads are at least gonna land in this spot. We're gonna do the same thing on the main planetoid. Gonna set this up right there, next to the transit tube. In the meantime, I also made another trip with my rocket, brought over some more salt water, and I also brought some berry sludge to Growista. So now Marie can enjoy some good food again and doesn't have to farm anymore. The 2 aluminium volcanoes are at the moment dormant, which is why the contraption has cooled down significantly. But with everything done, we can close this off again. Still have to pick up the bottles there. I also completely tiled out this room. If we actually make it 1 block higher, we can accommodate a second row of batteries. So let's just go ahead and open all of this up. The targeting beacon is in place. I think it's not necessary that it sucks power all the time. So we're gonna set up a switch and connect this to shut it off in times of no deliveries. Oh, I almost forgot. I hooked up another pipe in order to fill up the loop entirely. So we're now bringing along the rest of the salt water. And there we go. I can just wait until this pipe doesn't move anymore. Let's already think about the setup here. We probably first of all want to open this up to get that sweet rat flowing. I also want to move my ladders upwards 1 block. Alrighty, we're back and I kept going a little bit. As you can see, I already start setting up the battery room. I also prepared the area for expansion, and as long as we still need entry, this is going to be our new liquid lock. Now, I considered tiling this out, but I think in this case I'm just gonna set up a gas pump. We're also gonna remove these 2 layers of terrain, and we're simply gonna bring this outside of here. That should be good with a normal vent. The volcanoes are still gonna be dormant for a little while. This guy here on the left side is gonna come up in about 10 cycles. But that should be more or less enough time to get more batteries going. And actually, before we hook these up to the main system, we gotta make sure we have a way to cool them down. Speaking of cooling, this is where our cooling loops are gonna come in. And I'm guessing I'm just gonna do more or less of a symmetrical setup. Maybe we can even include a bunch of reservoirs. Yeah, we should totally be able to do this. So let's say this reservoir is gonna be responsible for the left loop, and then we're gonna have a symmetrical reservoir for the other loop. It should also make the temperatures within the loop less volatile. So first things first, these bridges gotta go. I also decided for a different setup for the Radbolts because I was getting less radiation on the top than at the bottom. So what we ended up with is 2 Radbolt generators shooting upwards. This one is gonna go here to the right, and then it's gonna go up again, then to the left, then up again, and finally to the right into the launcher. So that should be easy enough. I also hooked up the railing again, so this is still gonna be the conveyor loader that we use to actually load this up. We will still have to connect it to power to even enable it, but I'm thinking about a cooling solution that we could use. I want to do some testing before I jump the gun. Maybe we have to cool the upper slot or the lower portion here, so I will definitely have to experiment around with that. Oh no, I just noticed that the whole time I didn't feed my fish. I feel so bad about this now. Hopefully you little fish guys can actually forgive me. How is the berry sludge coming along? I think I'm storing it in the rocket here. We got another 13 kilograms or 52,000 kilocalories. Okay, so that is slowly but surely working out as well. In the meantime, Atu is almost done digging up everything, and he is in the business of collecting materials right now. I think for shits and giggles and just to see this working, I'm actually gonna hook up the Radbolt generators now. And we're also gonna start collecting some resources. What do we have much of that would be useful for the main base? Well, we have a crap ton of gold amalgam as well as aluminium ore. So I think these 2 materials are gonna be our first candidates. Also gotta allow manual use, and this one is not gonna be sweep only. Contrary to the other conveyor loaders, where they only collect materials that I dedicated to sweep up. And there go my materials into the Interplanetary launcher. Wonderful. Maybe I have to set this to priority 5. Marie seems a little bit too dedicated to the job. And there we go. We started to collect Radbolts. If we check on the main planetoid, I think I took it apart. Yeah, I took it apart here because it was accumulating some heat. But let me tell you, these guys take a long time to heat up, and if you make them out of igneous rock, they can go up to 1400 degrees before they fail on you. Wow, yeah, this goes significantly faster than on the main planetoid. I think I'm actually gonna up this to 100 Radbolts a shot. So we will be collecting 200 Radbolts, and if we check down here, we need 20 per launch. Marie finally decided to take on the job here. Still gonna sweep and mop everything up. Oh, check this out. We just received the first Radbolts. Oh, what's happening? This is great. It's actually cleaning the rails. Wow. Okay, that was absolutely insane. I don't even have words for it. And there we go. Liquid reservoir is in place. So considering the flow of the loops before we go into the reservoir, we probably want to start cooling things down. So I'm gonna get started right over here. We're gonna go through the first layer of batteries and we're gonna do the very same thing on the other side eventually. We're then gonna use aluminium radiant pipes all the way through. I mean, we have plenty of that material. Go up at this point, some more radiant pipes right there. Then we go out and I guess just finish the loop to have something elegant and nice looking. And we come out of the reservoir, go back down into the loop again. Actually, maybe I could save on a couple of pipes. We just go up already here, then move over, up, over and back. Yeah, that might be a tiny bit more reasonable in terms of using materials. Okay, got my blueprint prepared here. We just need to be patient for Marie to actually build stuff. Great, we actually already achieved a vacuum here, so we are gonna deconstruct everything. I also installed another bottle emptier to get a layer of salt water on the top, and we're gonna do that right now with enable auto bottle. In the meantime, the Radbolt generators have heated up to almost 200 degrees, so still a long ways to go, and we have constant arrivals here on the main planetoid. The emptying part is weirding me out a little bit. I'm not sure if there is a shortcut for it, but with this many modules incoming and I have to click everything, this could become a little bit of a chore. So maybe this interplanetary launcher is going to be a very good solution once we have this planetoid automated and actually nobody is here anymore. Oh, saltwater actually arrived. This is already enough. But yeah, we can collect the aluminium here and then ship it over to the planetary launcher. And if we cool down the Radbolt generators, everything should be automatic. So no duplicate work required in that scenario. With this being a vacuum, we could actually go ahead and dare removing this liquid lock. I think that's going to be the next thing I'm going to tackle. Actually, we want to go ahead and sweep this up before it is too late. Okay, that's actually looking good. Marie, you can do it! She does not look happy though. And once again, another load that I have to empty out. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's 200 kilograms of gold amalgam every time, so I'm complaining on high levels here. By the way, we're still shipping materials non-stop from Smellyall. This has been going on for dozens of cycles already, and it's just absolutely beautiful. Fresh news cycle on Growista. The first thing in the morning, Marie is filling up the conveyor loader for our daily dose of interplanetary shots. I neglected the hatches a little bit and Frankie now has to take on all of the stone hatches. I mean, he does look suspiciously happy doing it. Not sure what to think of it. Man, the cycles go by like crazy. How hot? 260 degrees. And let me guess, yeah, another payload. Oh, look at that. I missed like 2 payloads. And now, really not sure that this is the best method. I mean, really not sure that this is the best method. Oh my gosh. This might be an absolute nightmare if I want to transfer large quantities of materials. So I'm guessing to ship over the terrain of an entire planetoid, we might want to go with rockets after all. I mean, look at that. It's like 7 of these bastards all stacked up. And they all contain some nice aluminium for me. Ah, gotta love it. I mean, I guess eventually we get the job done. I just think it's incredibly more efficient to just shoot bullets instead of entire rockets. I mean, the radiation is basically free. And you know, we like free stuff. Beautiful. Liquid lock has been taken apart. That means we can take apart the rest as well. We have to make a continuation for the aluminium path. I guess for now we're just gonna lead it through the floor and bring it over here to the other liquid lock. You know, keep things simple, but the rest here we can take apart. We are also gonna take apart these 2 guys. Let's actually speed up the heavy watt wire so we can replace it with a cable again. Like this cable here. Very important. Please build that, Marie. And then everything should still be connected except for these batteries. Yeah, we should be able to hook them up now. Also, please build that final pipe so I can get this cooling loop going. Thank you. Finally, let's connect this, separate this, then it's gonna do a loop-de-loop, go into the reservoir and come out here at the bottom. That also means we can hook this up and actually get it emptied out. Remove a couple of pipes here, remove this, and we will be able to also set up the second reservoir. Great, now we only have to make sure to actually fill up the reservoir with a little bit of salt water, so we also have backup and can make the loop bigger. So actually, instead of destroying this, I'm gonna go ahead and fill it up. And I'm also gonna prevent the water from getting out of the liquid reservoir for a little while, so we can keep on filling it up. We are slowly getting there. I decided to completely fill up the reservoir before we go ahead and build the second one. And there we go. 5 tons of salt water. Thank you very much. We're gonna build another liquid reservoir and therefore fill this up as well. And in this case, we can let the first loop running again. Wonderful. Second reservoir incoming and the salt water can go in. This means I also want to swap around the second loop going around here, and ooh, totally forgot about that. We need to exchange this with a bridge for the time being. Separate all of these, connect all of that, and this should go into my input. And then from the output we can go straight down actually in this case. Okay, I'm also gonna wait for the second reservoir to fill up. Did not mean to place that pipe here. How are we doing? Yeah, of course, now the aqua tuner has to work a little bit because we had all of this hotter salt water incoming to fill up the reservoir. I actually wonder. Yeah, look at that. I think we already sent 10 tons of gold amalgam over. If that's true, that's just insane because it's trouble-free for the most part, in my opinion. Time to remove a bunch of ladders and ceilings, and then we're gonna do the same thing here on the other side. So I would want a layer of tiles here. We also want to go ahead and open up this slot, and then we want to set up a whole bunch of batteries, aluminium of course. Batteries up to this spot, couple of ladders to get up and down, and obviously we also want power. Great, this turned out to be a awesome symmetrical build in my opinion. But the most important part was to actually test the interplanetary launcher, which I just love, I gotta admit. Also the cleaning process, just absolutely amazing. Let's see if we can get a good thumbnail going here. Oh my gosh, absolutely amazing. And yeah, I really don't have to babysit these guys. It's been quite a few cycles and we're not even halfway there in terms of melting them. Good, I'm actually pretty happy with that testing. Also, you know what I want to do for the rest of the battery room. So it's going to be the same thing as on the other side here. We are cooling it down. Everyone is going to be happy. We then obviously should have enough batteries to last us through the night while the solar panels aren't working. But yeah, we will have to find a solution to efficiently cool down the Radbolt generators. That is a process we have to automate. Obviously, we can make use of the cooling loops we already have going on. But I want to do some testings for that first. So I would say without any further ado, we're gonna wrap it up at this point. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Have a great time and see you in the next one. Bye bye.